What is self-sabotage? Self-sabotage refers to the act of intentionally or unintentionally hindering one's own success or goals. This can manifest in a variety of ways, such as procrastination, self-doubt, or making poor decisions. It can stem from a variety of factors, such as fear of success, low self-esteem, or a lack of belief in oneself. It can be detrimental to one's personal and professional growth and can be addressed through therapy, self-reflection, and positive affirmations. So let's go over some ways by which people sabotage themselves every day without realizing it. Before we get into it, please take a second to subscribe to the channel for more content like this and don't forget to hit the like buttons. If you watch to the end, we have a surprise for you. Welcome to Top 10 Mentions, where our goal is to bring you the top 10 of everything. Let's get into it. In order to progress in life, we have to make changes to our bad behaviors, and allow ourselves to become better people, for ourselves and the people we love, by getting rid of our self-deprecating behaviors. And one of the biggest self-deprecating behaviors that people exhibit is called self-sabotage. 1. Procrastination. This is a common form of self-sabotage, where individuals put off important tasks until the last minute, which can lead to a decrease in the quality of work and added stress. Research has shown that procrastination is linked to low self-esteem and a lack of self-regulation. Most people are guilty of this one, and it's a very common one. When you have something to do, just do it right away and you'll feel better about yourself. 2. Self-doubt. This is characterized by negative self-talk and a lack of belief in oneself. Self-doubt can lead to a lack of motivation and an inability to take action on goals. Self-doubt is often linked to low self-esteem and a lack of self-compassion. When you experience this, we've found that one of the best ways to counter this is to practice positive affirmations to yourself. Whatever area of your life you feel doubts in, always reassure yourself that you are good and very soon you'll be great. 3. Negative thinking. Negative thinking patterns, such as catastrophizing and black and white thinking, can lead to a lack of motivation and a tendency to give up easily. Negative thinking is linked to depression and anxiety. To counter negative thinking, always be conscious about your thoughts. And when you catch yourself thinking negative, change it to something positive. At first this might seem like a chore, but with time, it becomes a lot easier and negative thoughts will be a thing of the past to you. 4. Perfectionism. This is the belief that everything must be done perfectly, which can lead to a fear of failure and an inability to complete tasks. It's been researched that perfectionism is linked to anxiety and depression. Although perfectionism is not as common as some of the previous ones, it still can be a huge problem for those who experience this. If you experience this, try to practice healthier habits like accepting your imperfections, and letting go of those high standards that may seem beneficial but never gets you anywhere. 5. Lack of boundaries. Not setting clear boundaries can lead to burnout and an inability to prioritize one's own needs. A lack of boundaries is linked to stress and a lack of self-care. So set boundaries for yourself. Allow yourself time to care for yourself instead of worrying about everything else without properly allocating your time. 6. Fear of failure. This is characterized by a fear of making mistakes and a lack of willingness to take risks. The fear of failure is linked to anxiety and a lack of self-esteem. While you are afraid of failure, you should know that you can't fail or succeed if you don't try, and the most successful people in the world are the people who tried and failed the most. 7. Fear of success. This is characterized by a fear of achieving one's goals, which can lead to self-sabotaging behaviors such as procrastination and self-doubt. Research has shown that fear of success is linked to a lack of self-esteem and a fear of change. Now, while I was researching this one, I found people's reactions to it more surprising than most of the others. This is because when people are involved in this form of self-sabotage, they don't usually realize it. If you have goals that you are reaching for, then you should look closely at your behavior. This includes how you feel about change and how you experience change. This will be a big indicator of whether you are self-sabotaging. 8. Self-handicapping. This can be described as the act of creating obstacles that make success more difficult, such as procrastination or substance abuse. Self-handicapping is often linked to a lack of self-esteem and a fear of failure. This can be made visible when a person makes up every excuse they can think of not to complete a task. This happens when you subconsciously make out every task to be more difficult than it actually is. This can lead to a lot of frustration and difficulties in your personal and professional lives. 9. Impulsivity. You might be very familiar with this one. This is the tendency to make decisions without thinking them through, which often can lead to poor decision-making and negative consequences. This is a form of self-sabotage which you can be guilty of without realizing it, and even when you do, most people fail to acknowledge it as a problem. Research has shown that impulsivity is linked to a lack of self-control and a lack of planning. 10. Avoidance. This can be explained as the tendency to avoid certain situations or tasks, which can lead to procrastination and a lack of progress on your goals. Avoidance can be most evident in the actions that involve avoiding tasks in personal and/or professional responsibilities. This will eventually lead to self-loathing patterns like feeling that you're a failure, that you can't do things right, or that you're not good enough. Research has shown that avoidance is linked to anxiety and a lack of self-esteem. Here's an obvious tip: when you have an assignment or task, do it right away. You won't ever regret doing a task or finishing a responsibility in a timely manner. Practicing a more conscious lifestyle will bring most of these self-sabotaging behaviors to the surface so that you can deal with them accordingly through mental exercises and therapy. It's worth noting that self-sabotage behaviors can be complex and multifaceted, and may have different underlying causes for different individuals. These behaviors can, however, be addressed and overcome with the help of therapy, self-reflection, and positive affirmations. For those of you who made it through to this point in the video, here's a few practical ways to help with self-sabotage. If you want to avoid a life of self-sabotage, practice this 5 things. 1. Develop self-awareness. 2. Write it out. 3. Create a plan, and stick to it. 4. Practice mindfulness in every aspect of your life. 5. Find someone that cares about you and ask them to hold you accountable. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment down below. And we'll see you on the next video.